not so costly, and we want you all to know 21st century extroversion isn't enough to sell your soul. We can't deny it. No one wants you to behave. 21st century mass version was put up online today. So tonight we come 'cause girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. You know we're watching. We're the audience you like. Put a sexy pics on your profile. Show them all how you go wild. So tonight we come 'cause girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. It's okay, you safe, man, do it anyway. All day, get his name and let those haters hate. Not your fault, there's no law, and we love you all. Keep God, get some more, take total control. They say it's not right for you to act this way online. But if the whole damn world is gonna try to cut girls and ladies shine, your most dangerous life. So tonight we come 'cause girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. Girls love digital. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay, it's safe, and do it anyway. All day, get his name and let those haters hate. Not your fault, there's no law, and we love you all. Keep God, get some more, take control.
I know what you're gonna do. I know what you've been up to. It's more than good makeup. I know your dirty little secret. Doesn't matter how I find out. I know you've been thinking about. Just put away your powder. Don't just pack your shit and get out. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Just baby, I won't tell. Don't you waste your time with another lie. Oh, and close down my own back for another free ride. I can tell. Oh no, that you're gonna fail. Keep on acting like things are slow, even though I know you're going to fail. I know what you're gonna do. I know what you've been up to. It's more than good makeup. I know your dirty little secret. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Hush, hush. Say I won't tell. Baby, I won't tell. Oh, don't waste my time with another lie. Oh, and close down my own mouth for another free ride. I can tell. Oh no, that you're gonna fail. Keep on acting like things are slow, even though I know you're going to fail. Hush, hush, baby, I won't tell. 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 Oh, know that you're gonna fail.
The Evil Streaks right here on the Tony Jones Show. Dirty Little Secret, the name of that one. Before that, we heard from Down City Armory, Girls Love Digital. You are tuned into the Tony Jones Show online at tonyjones.org, facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, and on Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. I mentioned a few minutes ago about the misfortunes of Chuck Station from Senior Discount. The link to his GoFundMe effort, or not his GoFundMe effort, the GoFundMe effort for him is now posted on our social media if you can consider donating just a little bit. Now, in studio, DJ Psycho Eddie is here from My Night Out Radio, and my companion, that sounds gay, my compadre, that sounds gay but Spanish, my partner, no, gay again, the guy I spent Rhode Island Comic-Con with last weekend. How's that? Is that better?
That sounds geeky and gay, but yes, we'll work with that.
But
we were
neither of us were dressed as Star Trek characters, so that counts for something.
and I did warn everyone with a red Star Trek shirt that they were going to die.
But before we talk Comic-Con, which went very smoothly this year,
Yes,
this is going to be the cheesiest segue in Rhode Island history.
you're going to use the word smooth again,
in
aren't
radio
you?
history. Also going down smoothly is the mead that you brought to the studio, which we are enjoying modestly, and we won't be driving home afterwards.
No, I have a designated driver, my silent and deadly partner, who is flipping me off currently. Yes, Greenwich Cove Meadery, very big fans of theirs. If they played out, I would be a roadie. They just do a phenomenal job. It's a local place who does not skimp on their product. I was talking to him pretty much at length, and he was telling me that he's paying anywhere between 3 and 10 times what the commercial meaderies are paying for their honey to make their mead, and he's not charging any extra. So that shows you, A, you're being raked across the coals for buying that nationally marketed mead, and number 2, he cares about the product more than the bottom line, almost.
And that, that's one of the things we've talked about a lot regarding small businesses is that, these people really have pride in what they do. This really is, especially in this situation, a craft for the folks that make this mead. And, I got to say, I was pretty ignorant to mead until these folks went up the street. But you have been a connoisseur of mead for years, right?
Yes, I have. I actually brewed my own batch with my brother-in-law, Chris. If you're listening, I'm giving you props. That was a bottle opening, by the way, not by someone who was on the radio. We made a small or modest-sized batch. It was only about 6 gallons, and this is going back almost 20 years. And it took about 20 years for the flavor to come down to where it was almost like a white wine. It was very palatable, very pleasant. But that was home brewing, and I had to use filtered, stepped-on, processed honey when I made it. And I didn't get what I was looking for out of it, but it was very good. Rob, he was in studio with me a couple months ago now. He uses pure, raw, unfiltered honey, and he's doing hundreds of gallon batches. So he's doing an excellent job, and he's getting the flavors that I only wish I could get.
And that's one of the things that a lot of home brewers talk about, whether it's mead or beer or folks that make their own wine, is that they end up actually taking a hit and sometimes throwing out their first half dozen batches because it doesn't come out just right. So they dump it down the drain and they go back to the drawing board.
Well, that depends on your religious affiliation. If you're like myself and you're cheap, I would rather drink a beer that was kind of crappy than throw it out because that's alcohol abuse. However, there are people that give or donate or pledge the wasted alcohol to the Norse gods, and it is a rite of passage, and it aids them in their next batch.
And if you make bad beer and pass it out to your friends,
you should be kicked.
When they all get explosive diarrhea, they're going to come to your house to unload.
It sounds like we have a little personal experience in this, Tony.
Let's just say my first few pale ales
left you looking a bit pale.
Everybody was a bit pale that partook in said ales. I want to go back to the music, then we'll come back, and I want to talk a little bit about last week's Comic-Con, which, incidentally, if I actually interview all the people that I talked to about coming down here and being interviewed, I have
about a year's worth.
Yeah,
of
I have guests at least until maybe next summer, the end of next summer. So it was a great opportunity. But let's get down back to some local music. The unfortunately now defunct Jesse Minute here's "Sweet on Me" right here on the Tony Jones Show.
Bring me the world, I'll eat it up and you will see. Bring me the world, I'll eat it up and you will see. Bring me the world, sweet on me, don't tell me what to be. Whoa, whoa, just sweet on me, don't tell me what to see. Whoa, whoa, just sweet on me, tell it like you're singing after me, sweet on me, tell it like another way. Go. Bring me the world, I'll eat it up and you'll see. Bring me the world, bring me the world, I'll eat it up and you'll see. Bring me the world, on me, don't tell me what to be. Whoa, whoa, just sweet on me, don't tell me what to be. Whoa, whoa, just sweet on me, tell it like you're singing after me, sweet on me, tell it like another way. Go. Sympathetic little one, don't you fall onto the floor. There's another one waiting for you right outside the door. Oh, pathetic little one, don't you fall onto the floor. There's another one waiting for you right outside the door. Right outside the door. Take another look and you will find another girl like me, but she won't be a whore. She won't be a whore. Take another look and you will find another girl like me, but she won't be a whore. She won't be a whore. Take another look and you will find another girl like me, but she won't be a whore.
Sweet on Me, the name of that one, the unfortunately now defunct Jesse Minute right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before we heard some Jesse Minute, we were talking a little bit about the reason why we weren't on the air last weekend. That is because we were participating in the Rhode Island Comic-Con, which had some issues in years past, but last weekend, this Comic-Con, well, firstly, it was 3 days long. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the first of the 3 days because it ended at 9 p.m., and I would have been able to get there about 8:45 p.m., so it just didn't make sense for me to be up there. But it went to 3 days, and the weather held up, which is great for all the poor folks hanging out outside. So I got there on Saturday around 8 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to be able to set up, find the booth, things of that nature. And when I got there at 8, there was already a line of people that were going to get into the con at 10 a.m., and it was just all throughout Providence. And then there was the Veterans Water Fire that night, so it was Providence was a madhouse. and everything went